Delinquent. Back in the 90s, it used to be one of the most popular character trope, embodying a character who always gets into fights, skips school and is just a massive douchebag. But also someone that had a sense of loyalty to their friends and a strong sense of justice. From the 70s through the 90s, gangs in Japan became a much bigger thing, from rallying on the streets with their motorbikes to constantly getting into fights. Thanks to teenagers viewing that as something cool, characters like that started to appear a lot more frequently in anime, gaining huge popularity with characters like Yusuke from Yu Yu Hakusho or Onizuka from Great Teacher Onizuka. However, this type of trope slowly but surely completely disappeared in anime, only showing up as a side character or just as comedic relief. There were some anime focusing on the theme that had the chance to become something massive like Tokyo Revengers or Bucchigiri, but both of them received quite mixed reactions. However, this might change forever with the release of Windbreaker. This is the biggest anime of this season. Thanks to its well-written characters and high-quality fight scenes, it's literally one of the most searched anime. But is this just another fluke? Another spark that we will all forget about by next season? Or will we finally have a good delinquent anime? Windbreaker is about this guy called Sakura who was seemingly hated by a lot of people. He doesn't know how to communicate, he constantly gets into fights, but no one even tries to help him or talk to him just because of how he looks. That made him not just hate others, but also himself, doubting every decision he makes, pushing everyone away, thinking that everyone wants the worst for him. Going into high school, he has completely moved away from that life. In this new city, he just started at Furin High School, which is not an ordinary high school at all. I just want to quote what the description of the anime says about it. A school of degenerates known only for their brawling strength. It's basically a school for all the people that they just don't want to deal with anymore. Hell, it's not even a school. There aren't even teachers at all. What I found really cool about it though is that unlike in other delinquent anime, they are not the bad guys. They don't fight for territory, they don't harass locals, they don't attack people for no reason. They are here to defend the town and its people. Now Sakura doesn't give a fuck about that. He's only here to fight and get to the top. He doesn't want to deal with any of that other bullshit. Savior, hero, couldn't be him. At least that's what he wants to force upon himself, but every time someone is in danger, he jumps in to save them. Whether it's taking on 3 guys, facing a rival gang, he's in. But can he take on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 guys at the same time? In a fight. Maybe he can't, but what I love about him is that he actually tries. You see these other 2 delinquent main characters? What do they do every episode? They cry. Now what does Sakura do? He actually fights. In many shonen stories, main characters often end up in dangerous situations without choosing to be there, or just because they have some super strong power that now they are forced to use. In Windbreaker, Sakura is the exact opposite. He's cocky, believes he's better than anyone else, and can be an asshole, but he also doesn't fight for no reason. That's what a delinquent character is supposed to be, not this crybaby, never evolving type dude. It's just so cool to see a competent main character for once. But let's be real, writing a decent shonen main character shouldn't be praised. It absolutely should be the minimum if you want your work to succeed. While Sakura is weird, he isn't even the biggest weirdo in his own school. We have Nirei, who cannot stop yapping for a second, So, whose hyper seals away an ancient Chinese spirit, and he's also... There's also Hiragi, who cannot stop popping pills, black-haired Gojo, and the guy who would clearly suck the master's D. What initially made me watch the anime was how good it looked, but the reason why I kept watching it because of its amazing balance. While the idea itself is super simple and we've seen it many times before, the anime excels at what really matters. The characters are really lovable and they actually grow. Take Sakura for example. In the first episode, we immediately see Sakura struggling to keep hold of his own identity and who he is. When he arrived in this new city, he instantly assumed the same thing, that everyone would be afraid of him, that they would hate him. However, in episode 3, when he was able to land a hit on one of the strongest guys in the school, unexpectedly for him, he was praised. As soon as the others got closer to him, he instantly acted hostile out of his perception that he is indeed a bad person, that he's a master. But these people never thought of him like that. And you know what happened? He became aware of the fact that maybe he isn't what he expected himself to be. Maybe not yet accepting, but acknowledging that he's not a bad person. He actually grew as a delinquent character. That's insane. I also love the way how they build up all the other characters. Nirei is the one we know the most outside of Sakura, and is basically Zenitsu. A really loud and overly emotional yellow-haired character, but what I love about him is that he feels like a really realistic and just relatable character. When he was little, he was constantly bullied. However, a guy from foreign helped him, inspiring him to do the same thing, help the ones in need. If you would be placed in that world, you would be like him, weak and scared. But what I found cool about him is that despite being like that, he jumps in front of other people, he tries to help them, and doesn't just cry in a corner and hides. Another really cool thing is the dynamic of the gang. We are so used to seeing gangs as something bad, but the anime puts a spin on it, making them the good guys. They aren't smart, they aren't really good at anything, but they have a heart. They are there to support people, and the support isn't just through beating up others. It's also about helping the locals paint, talking to them, and simply being present in their uniforms. And I also love that the people around them actually exist. When a fight happens, there are people around. They are looking, they are hiding, they exist. When Sakura helps them out, they give them a bunch of stuff. It adds so much depth to the story, and I love that. Now, while it has a pretty good story and some really well written characters, what really elevates the anime is the production. Cloverwork is a studio known for their consistency when it comes to quality. Every anime they produce is absolutely stunning, and that is also the case with Windbreaker. The animation is super crisp, the characters are constantly moving, the backgrounds are well detailed, and most importantly, the fights are insane. I really love the variety in the fighting. It's not just one swing and done. There are punches, kicks, headbutts, dodging. Everyone has their style, their own moves, and it's really cool. Additionally, I'm so impressed by the music. While it's usually not something that stands out for me, it has a really hype vibe. The anime is also stacked with some of the biggest voice actors. No matter whose name I click on, they all played some really famous characters. Also, the fanservice shots are absolutely insane. It's kinda hot, to be fair, I guess. Overall, Windbreaker is one of the best anime of this season, deservingly so. It has good action, with a good mix of world building and character exploration. So far I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. If you want to see another anime that had insane animation from last season, click on this video. Also subscribe, please.